Coming from these Philly streets, walking to my own beat, telling noisemakers I won't compete, cause I know I'm gonna be a beast. I go hard for what I want, I go hard for what I need.
Evening, y'all. Good evening. We are back on episode 33. We have made it, y'all. We are going. The episode for the face behind the brand. I am your host, Denise Murray, where I talk to entrepreneurs that use their passion for success and change the game, y'all. If you are on here on Instagram, Facebook, just go ahead. Let me know where you're tuning in from, so we can show you some love. Hey, y'all. I see Miss Turner, Colette, Step by Girl. Okay, now, today I am beyond excited to sit down with Sailor, the woman that helped Eric Thomas go from 300K to 1.7 million followers, the co-host of Nicky and Moose podcast, the CEO of Beast Mode Digital, who has since relaunched and now known as Deeper Than the Brand. She is someone who is a beast at content branding and personal connection. If you are familiar with her work, you know she is a powerhouse when it comes to helping creators and brands find their authentic voice and stand out in crowded digital space. Known as the voice of content branding, y'all, she helped countless brands and personalities discover their unique stories and transform how they show up online. Today, she is here to share her invaluable insights, her journey, and the secrets behind creating content that doesn't just grab attention, but builds lasting relationships, y'all. Let's give it up for the one and only Nicky Saunders. Hey, 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 hey.
Got you. I got
Thank you. Now, I know the audience right now is excited to dive into all the things content branding with you to kick off, but I'd love to hear a little bit about your journey first. So can you just tell us, how did you get started in content branding, and where was the particular moment where you realized this was your calling?
So I had a unique way. I was in the Navy for 9 years, and I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do after I got out. So, as any typical person, they get a regular job. You feel me? And so I got an IT job, but was very miserable, which is insane because IT people get paid a good amount of money. So I shouldn't be miserable, but I was. I was extremely miserable. So as I was trying to figure things out, I was going on YouTube trying to figure out anything that kind of stood out. And then ET kind of popped up, aka ET the hip hop preacher. And I was stuck ever since. I was like watching all his videos and everything. And I didn't know at the time that I was anything with social media, anything with content. I was just trying to figure things out, just trying not to be miserable working at a 9 to 5. So I ended up going to his events and just volunteering and anything that I could do just to figure out, like, I knew I like needed to be here, but I didn't know exactly doing what. So I was sharing, like picking up food. I was taking people to their chairs to the live events. I was doing every little thing that I could just to add value. And then I found the gap where it was like, oh, you have an online community and they're not even seeing what's happening in these live shows, in these events. So let me at least grab my phone, because I didn't do anything with a camera at the time. Let me grab my phone and like live stream in the community. And then it ended up being like, well, you're not showing anything on social media. Let me share some of the clips out on social media. And they were like, well, do you want to take over the social media? And I was like, okay, cool. Never did it before, but I'm on that type of time of like, I'll figure it out. You feel me? Like, if I have some type of interest, I'll figure it out. So I did. I figured it out. I grabbed the account at 300K and grew it to 2.2 million, and
Mm,
we still going. We doing that across platforms too. So that was Instagram. We're about to hit 2 mil on Facebook. We're at 1.5 on YouTube. And
mm,
so once that started happening, people were like, "Yo, how'd you do that?"
mm.
And so that's when my personal brand started to grow, because all I was doing was, hey, let me share you with you everything that I'm doing, because I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Right.
And that really took on during the pandemic, because everybody's like, who's that black and Puerto Rican chick that kept telling us to post and create a brand and everything? Because we need to do that right now. So let me go follow her. And
Mm.
we here now.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And I know, like, that's when I came to you, that was one of my things, because I was like, as an introvert, I was just like, okay, like, trying to get on the computer and do stuff. A
Yeah,
computer was like not going online, and social media is just honestly like something I just wasn't into at all. As an accountant, I just do my work in the office. That was it.
absolutely.
And so I was just
Absolutely.
like going online, was doing different things. I was just like, okay, I have to get out here, but I know me personally have learned so much from you. Now, I know for those new to the concept, how would you define content branding? What sets it apart from creating content?
So my thing is, without content, you don't have a brand, right?
Mm,
You don't. The way that we are introduced to you, the way that we understand the story of your brand, the way that we understand your values, your morals, what you represent,
mhm,
is all through content. It has nothing to do with just your website and your logo anymore. It
mhm,
has everything to do with what is the story that you're putting out, what is
mhm,
the media that you're putting out on a consistent basis. And so I believe that if you can understand, one, who you are first, and then figure out the different content formats that you want to show up in
mhm,
authentically, not forced, not feeling like it's trendy, but like how you can honestly show up, that's kind of the beginning of content branding. Because once we figure out our style and how we're going to speak authentically, then we're able to narrate what people remember of us. We
mhm,
remember certain pieces of content. We remember certain audios, certain songs, because that's content too. We
right.
remember certain styles. So everything plays a part. And so I'm really big on like figuring out how do you want to show up on a consistent basis, because presence is always more important than anything else.
Mhm. Yeah. Now you help so many people find their unique brand voice. What approach would you be helping like to find them for the first time?
So so for the first time, one, we got to identify like who you are. Meaning, I'm an introvert, right? Other people may be extroverts, other people may be a little bit of both. You have to
Mhm,
figure out who you are, because for instance, going and for an introvert, going for video first is petrifying for some. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
they won't be able to be consistent,
Mhm,
but writing, they may be. Pictures, they may be. Audio, they may be. To then grow into video, right?
mhm,
Go same kind of with extroverts. Writing and any type of structure petrifies them. So
mhm,
LinkedIn isn't going to be their very first joint. I mean,
mhm,
Twitter, X, Threads, any written type of style, email, newsletter, that's not going to be their vibe off top. Video is something that they may go with. Audio may be something that they may go with.
mhm,
So figuring out, one, who you are and how comfortable are you as far as showing up on social media is very important. Then figuring out the content style, meaning if I was to wake you up at 3:47 in the morning, random time, I go, yo, your audience is out there. What way would you create content off top? Is it video? Is it audio? Is it picture? Is it written? Right? And whatever your answer may be, that's what you should be creating every single day in the very beginning. Because that's the thing that comes the most natural. You're not thinking, you're like, oh, okay, hold on. All right.
Right.
Boom, right? Whatever that may be.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we could do it at that time frame with no coffee, no caffeine, no morning song, I could do that every single day.
Mm-hmm.
What's stopping me? Right? And so that we could get into that kind of conversation, because that's also a lot of self-doubt and just looking at others in comparison and things like that. But once we figure out who we are and our content style, and that we know that we could do every single day, then it's just a matter of who do I want to talk to? What is the real transformation that I'm giving? And how do I break that down on a regular basis? Because there's a language that only you know how to speak to your audience, right? And your audience isn't everybody,
Right.
because you weren't made for everybody.
Right.
You have a specific audience. So you look at that and you go, okay, I know certain keywords and trigger words that is going to be like, oh, the person on the other side of the phone, on the other side of the laptop, is going to be like, hold on, they talking to me? Wait, well, let me stop scrolling. What's this about? Right? So that's kind of the start for those people who are starting. I don't want to overwhelm them.
Right. Now, what do you think is some key elements that make the brand truly relatable and memorable in the eyes of the audience?
Authenticity. You feel me? Like, I think we are done with the overhyped, over exaggerated stuff. Oh, those are goals. That's cool. That's goals. I can't relate to goals all the time. I have a season, right? This is my goal. I want to get there. I see it. I see it in front of me. They're so dope to follow. I'm gonna follow them. And then what? You know what I mean? Like, one or two things can happen. They reach their goal and we stop following you. We're not interested because we already reached it. Or we can't reach that goal. Our doubts and our insecurities killed it. And then I'm not gonna watch it because you're reminding me how insecure I am. No wonder. And my failures. I'm not interested, right? I think the authenticity of a brand is so crucial. The storytelling of a brand is so crucial. If you know how to tell a story, and storytelling isn't that deep, to be honest with you. If somebody asks you like, yo, how's your day? Girl, let me tell you. So, blah, 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 blah. If you could do that, you could create content. That's hands down. Because all it is storytelling. How are you keeping the attention of people from the start to the end? Regardless if it's a 30-second video or a 10-20 minute video or a 3-hour joint. Say you have a podcast, you talking, right? It's all about the conversation and the storytelling. If you could figure that out, then everything is super easy. Like, and this is why it goes back to understanding your audience, because your audience has pain points, right? They're searching for something, they're looking for a solution for something. And how do I make a story that centers around them, that at the end of it, they're winning based off what I can give them, based off the transformation that I offer? And the transformation can be from a motivational side, from an educational side, from a entertainment side. It could go in those three categories, right? And you just have to go, okay, I'm, and a really good framework to look into is story brand, right? The story brand framework. I'm the guide. I'm not the hero of my brand. I am the guide. The audience is always going to be the hero. The bad guy, the villain, is always going to be the pain point. So how do I realistically have my audience see them in what I'm saying as them being the hero, and they see the ups and downs, right?
Mm,
And that's through storytelling, but that's also in the authentic way of how you storytell. How are you showing your values, your beliefs, who you stand for in that storytelling? That they're like, yo,
mm,
this is relatable. And this person is
mm,
really here for me because they understand my problems. They understand what I'm going through. They understand I may be feeling down at this moment. They may understand that I need to learn Spanish right now. They may understand that, like, yo, I just need a sign of relief. So
mm.
the storytelling and authenticity is probably one of those two things.
Okay. Now I know like sometimes when it comes to storytelling, I know for me, I was hearing before where they would say like, okay, nobody wants to hear your story until you made it. So sometimes people feel like, okay, well, I don't really have a story. So what would you say about that?
I just posted about this, which is great. Um, we all have a story. We're
Mm,
just not impressed with it. So we don't think it's important. Where
mm,
those are the most interesting and important stories that have never been out yet, because they're so relatable. Because there's a lot of people that feel like, oh, I'm not doing anything. Like no one's interested in me. No one's interested in, like, I talked about it from a standpoint of some of us don't want to turn on the camera because we're in front of a desk all the time. And so we live boring lives, or we're home, or we're at the office all the time. Like, that's what am I showing? Right? I don't,
mm,
my story is that I'm here. What more do you want me to do? Right?
mm,
But while you're here, what are your thoughts? What is your routine? I mean, what frustrates you? What makes you happy? Those are important to people. Maybe not to you, but
mm,
at the same time, your brand isn't for you. Your content isn't for you. So you're not trying to impress you. You're trying to be relatable and connect with an audience. And so to sit here and be like, I don't have a story. I mean, there's a lot of people who could have said that. There's a lot of people that we've looked up to, celebrities, politicians, influencers, anybody with power could have been like, "Mm, I don't have a story. It's not important. Like, I don't want to
mm,
say anything." And life would be a lot different if they didn't. And so just because you may be in front of a computer all day, you may be having, you're a single mom and you do the same routine all the time. There are other singles moms that are like, please let me not feel like I'm alone.
mm,
Please, somebody may know what I'm feeling at this moment. You know, my
mm,
introverts are on some like, am I the only one that feels like I need a recharge in front of people? I see everybody outside creating content. I'm I, going outside and creating content gives me anxiety. I don't want nobody to look at me. I don't like, do I have the camera right? Do I look okay? Like, what's happened? I don't, no. It's,
mm,
we are the only ones that are stopping us from telling our story, from putting out anything. Like, everybody has a story, and at certain points, we should be able to tell it without thinking, no one's going to care. One person, that's all it takes. One person is going to care. Now, are they going to hit like? Are they going to comment? Are they going to share? Probably not. But that one person needed to hear it and is probably telling other people about you and your story, and there is something happening behind the scenes that you have no clue, that if you had patience for, is going to absolutely change your life if you just tell your story.
Mm. And that was like for me right now, y'all. Because that was how I was feeling for a while. Like, I honestly, I was just the one who was like, okay, I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to be talking about? I'm sitting in, for one, I'm working from home. And so I'm
Yep.
like, half the time I'm barely getting dressed. And I'm like,
Yep.
I'm not going out here doing a bunch of videos. What am I going to show? Just be in my
Right.
room doing work. So that was like, that's why I asked that question. But what are some
Understood.
like common mistakes that you think or roadblocks that you see people facing with content branding and how they can overcome it?
I think one of the biggest mistakes is when we start to take things serious and we're looking at other people's examples of what success looks like and we never define that for ourselves,
Mm,
right? Um our success may not look like millions of views. Our success may look like millions of dollars. So I could care less if I get 10 views, 100 views. Is it converting?
mhm,
Right? Some people may want millions of followers, and success to some may be like, yo, I'm good with my 20K because they all engage with me. My engagement is crazy. They love me for me. And in real life, when I was growing up, I necessarily had 20 people like me for me because I
mm,
was always inside. So this 20,000 that is hardcore community, oh, I'm for it, right? So I think
mm,
identifying what success looks like
mhm,
when it comes to your online presence, and then um, stop with the comparison game. Going
mhm,
kind of like a subtitle with it. Stop comparing because their journey is always going to look different than yours.
mhm.
So those people who are like, yo, it should be working by now, according to who? Your patients?
Right. Right.
Because there's never been a blueprint about social media. There's never been laws drawn up of like, if you did this, this is going to happen. Everybody's journey on social media is different. And
Mm,
so some may work out in a month, in in 6 months, in a year. Some people don't work out till like 10 years, right?
mhm,
It's about if you truly believe in the mission that you have of why you are on social media and why you have started a brand, if you are stay like real clear with that, stay in your
mhm,
lane with that. It's a matter of time. It's not is it going to work? It's when it's going to work. And it's going
mhm.
to be very frustrating because we're on rented uh land, meaning we don't own these social media platforms.
Right.
So I can't necessarily control the outcome per se. I could do all the tips and tricks that these platforms recommend. Absolutely.
Mhm,
But that doesn't guarantee it to work. So I'm going to have a lot of more down days than up days because that's their system.
mhm,
They're going to do enough to keep you there, to probably get you addicted to the wins, to the attention, and to the content that's already out there. And then they're going to bring you down and you're going to question life. This isn't for me. This isn't working. Why am I doing this? I do everything. It's the algorithm. It's this, it's that. I really go and I heard this on YouTube and I've been sticking with this of where I switch the words of algorithm and audience and I switch that. So it's like, yo, it's not the algorithm that doesn't like you, it's your audience.
mm,
You're doing something that isn't connecting with your audience anymore. So before you blame the platforms that is free, look at your content honestly and being like, what have you changed? What have you done, or what haven't you done? Have you
Mm,
looked at your numbers? A lot of people don't know their numbers, meaning what is your average likes? What is your average views? What is your average comments? What is your average saves or repost? What is your average numbers? Is it not working? Because are you below average? Or are you in your feelings and being like, I should have this amount already? Once again, says who? Like,
mm,
at what point were you supposed to blow up?
mm.
That mean
Right.
I just don't know. So I would say that, and then my perfectionist, please stop, because there's nothing out there that's perfect. It's
Right.
really all in your head.
Yeah, that's so true. Oh, hold on, we got some questions over here.
Let's go.
Um, is there? Oh, what she is? I'm sorry. She said, "Is there?" It went away from me. Is there a time where you need to start copywriting your branding?
That's a legal question. That is not a me question. I know my
Right.
lane. You may gotta
Right.
go into a lawyer for that. I stay in my lane. I don't know
Right.
nothing about that. I know how to
Right.
create
So you heard
content.
it.
I
Get
know
you a
how to
lawyer on that
yeah. I
one.
know. I know how to
Right.
run these social media streets, but I don't touch legal. Mm-mm.
Right. Now, what are some strategies you would use to build trust with real connections with followers?
One, I think one of the obvious ones is consistency.
Mm,
We have to treat it like a friendship, right? Any relationship needs presence. So
mm,
I, if me and you are best friends, right?
mhm,
I call you every day. You got used to calling you every day, right?
mhm,
I don't call you tomorrow. You're like, that's weird. Hold on. Like, I just got close to you. We're cool now.
mhm,
Okay, that's cool. The next day, I don't. I don't. You're like, I hope she's okay, right? The following day, you're like, okay, maybe this is a new norm. Let me go do the normal time frame that I would talk to Nikki. Let me go do something else, right? And then 2 weeks later, I'm like, yo, what's up? Oh, my bad. Life is lifing, da da da. You're like, all right, cool. Hey, let me call you back.
mm.
Right. So then
Right.
I call again the next day. You may not even pick up. Why?
Mm,
Because you started getting used to me not being there, me not
mm,
calling you. It's a relationship. The presence is important. If you're used to something and you're not there, my attention's going somewhere else. It's going to be the same thing. Consistency is so important. So
mm,
important, because it's like, you think of it, if I can show up, and I'll say this, majority of the influencers, majority of the accounts that we follow, it's not because they are really, really smart, really, really dope, have really, really amazing stuff. It's because we keep seeing them.
mm,
And in our minds, if we keep seeing them, they must be dope. They must have it all together. They must know what they're doing. I'm seeing them over and over again. Eventually, I'm going to like it, or I'm going to have something to say in some way, shape, or form. Right. So,
mhm,
consistency is one of those things that are like, I got to, even though it's a very typical thing and everybody's going to be like,
mhm.
all right, give me something else, then consistency is the same people that are not consistent. Like, I wish I could give you something else. You know what I mean? Like, but consistency is one of the major things. Uniqueness, staying in your true authentic self is one of those major things, right?
Mhm.
Um just ask the question again and I'll give another answer. But I'm like, I want to really drill the consistency and the
Right.
presence, because it's just, it once again, it goes back to that, like, it's not if it's going to happen, it's just when, because I'm beating you over the head
Mm.
with my presence. And so you're going to think, like, I'm gonna be honest, in my mind, I don't think I'm such a big deal, right? In my mind. Why? Because all I'm doing is sharing what I learned. It's
Mm.
like, oh, I saw this tool. Let me tell you about this tool. Um, I saw this interview. Let me share this interview. I did this trick. Let me share this. I'm talking to ChatGPT. Let me do this. Right. And then people are like, yo, you're the GOAT. Huh? I'm, but I'm realizing that because I've been consistent just sharing that and realizing when you're consistent and doing what you don't think isn't important,
Mhm.
other people find it really, really important because no one else is doing it
Right.
on a consistent basis. That's why I'm like, I
Mm.
really want to harp on the consistency because that
Mhm.
has been the only reason why anybody I've worked with, even my own self, has ever worked.
Mm.
Because it's you're going to have to see me. Like you going to open up these social media platforms and if you look up content AI, you gonna have to see me. You look up motivation, you gonna have to see ET. You gonna have to see Inky, right? You look up
Mhm.
financial literacy, you gonna have to see Earn Your Leisure. You're gonna have to see Wall Street Trapper. You're gonna have to see uh, Master Investor. You gonna have to see some of these people,
Mhm.
right? So I could say all these other things, but if you're not beating people over the head with who you are and what you do and your thoughts and your beliefs and your expertise and your experiences, it means nothing else what I say.
Mhm. Now I know some people ask this is like some questions where they say your like you have your personal and then you have your business. And so when
Yeah.
it comes to your page, some people are questioning, okay, should I have this on here? Do I need to keep it separate because of, this is my business page? Should I have two separate pages? And then sometimes people get thrown off because they're like, oh, how am I going to handle all these pages? What would you say about something like that?
I would always say start with one and
Mm-hmm.
then allow the whatever your idea, your brand, your business is, allow it to have legs before you separate it. Because 9 out of 10 times we start as a team as a one. Like we're solopreneurs. So to sit here and say, okay, I'm supposed to come up with the ideas. I'm supposed to execute the ideas. I'm supposed to understand the accounting. I'm supposed to understand the email marketing. I'm supposed to understand how to create content. I'm supposed to understand graphic design, all of this stuff. And I'm supposed to run 2, 3 pages. What? It's too much,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, as a team of one, we have to be realistic with what our resources are and what systems are we creating to be able to be present from a business side as well as a marketing and branding side, right? And so with our personal brand we have to think about it. We have to look at where we are in this in this season. If Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, all these big CEOs are having personal brands and they run big companies, you think you different? I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
people connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're at. I uh don't like and it could go from a good way and a bad way. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of Elon Musk, which makes me not really want to get a Tesla, but I like Teslas, but I don't like that human being, right? So it makes me question things, but he could do something great. And then I'm like, Tesla me out, right? I love Mark Zuckerberg. So I'm love Instagram. I love, well, not I don't want to say love Facebook, but I respect Facebook. I love Threads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I love how he's evolved from an introvert, very like basement student kind of vibes, to now
Mm-hmm.
coming outside and being like, look, I'm changing my flow, my wardrobe, everything like that. And you connect with it. And um as people get to know you, they want to be involved with what you're doing. And so some of us go, okay, I got a business, your business page has 500 followers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get it. But wouldn't you want to nurture your audience that you have that may be 1,000, 2,000 followers on your personal brand page? Nurture them and then figure out if this is exactly what they want, and then transfer them when you have the resources, whether it's a scheduling app from like Later or Buffer or Business Suite, or whether you finally get the income to get a social media manager to then
Mm-hmm.
run the business page. We have to realistically look at where we're at. I always go, what is my stage one of building a brand and building a business? If I am a solopreneur, if I am a team of one, what is the systems? Not necessarily the people, because I can't afford the people right now.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the systems that I can put in place that will allow me to bring some type of revenue so I can then get a person to then scale? But my first focus has to be, how do I stop doing everything?
Mm-hmm.
Not, okay, how do I add a YouTube channel, uh, another page for my business, and run a newsletter, and that's the problem with hearing about all this information, because it's like, okay, I got all the ideas, I'm going to do it. You still don't have your bookings right. Like, I'm gonna need you to do that first. Did you get the LLC? Like, why are
Mm-hmm.
we? Yeah, what are we talking about? What are we doing? So,
Right.
um, it's more of, please, 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 do not create extra stuff for you if you really don't have the time. If you really aren't at that moment that you have the resources to scale, not the feeling to scale. Because we all have the feeling. We all are like, I want to be bigger than life. If I came up with this idea, it's
Right.
going to work. And so I need to already have the fancy cameras. I need to have the studio. I need to have the backdrop. I need to have all this. This took years for me to have.
Mm.
I mean, I started on my phone. I still go to my phone. I was on live on my phone yesterday, right? It it took years to get a setup like this. It took years to get confidence like this. It took years to have somebody that I trust to do my videos on the YouTube side. It took me years to even do a personal YouTube page. I concentrated on Instagram first and foremost. That's it. That's what I can deal with. That's what my capacity is. We gonna make this work. And because I took that serious, the page started to blow up that would allow me to monetize, that would bring me the money to then go, okay, I could do YouTube. I could
Mm.
do this. But I'm not going to stress myself and weigh myself thin and do multiple pages, multiple platforms, even at that, because I'm not going to give my best. I'm not, if I don't know how to grow a following on one, how am I going to grow a following on six?
Mm.
So, yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, that was like the ultimate right there. Because I know a lot of people, not just me, but
Yeah.
I know me personally. I know that was my thing, and I remember I was sitting in one of these like webinars, and it was like, oh, you can't have this. So I literally went in and started deleting everything personal on
Mm,
my page.
mm,
And I was like, and then it was like, you shouldn't have did that, because now you don't look like you're personally. Like you're just everything is business. I'm like, then I went and then I had my Facebook hacked. And so then all of my followers, because that was honestly where I used to do all my stuff was on Facebook. I didn't really
Yeah.
use any other platforms until it got hacked and I couldn't get on. Then I was like, okay, now I need to go to something else. And so
Right.
then I
Right.
was like, okay, then I started having to try to build back up on Facebook. But it's like now people like, is this really you? You know? And then
Mm-hmm.
now people don't answer their messengers. So you send them a
Mm-hmm.
message like, this is me, this is me. And you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. So
Yeah.
I was like,
It's a
building
scary,
back up
scary
can
life
be a
out now.
headache when you're trying to go through that. And I know some you answered the question to Miss Step Girl when she asked about the finances, but also she was asking about budgeting when you're trying to market your social media. Like, how would you say should you start with doing that, or should you wait? How should you go about marketing to build on your brand?
So I'm always a big person on understand the vision first, right? I don't expect everybody to be content creators, graphic designers, web like I don't expect all that, right?
Mhm.
But I expect you to understand the vision before you give it up. A lot of people will try to create the content and things like that for like a week or two and be like, you know what? I just need a social media manager. You don't have the budget for that.
Mhm.
Like, let's be realistic. Depending on the video, like let's say you do a reel, TikTok or whatever, that can start from $10 to all the way up to 300. Now do that multiple times a day, multiple times a week. That adds up. That
Mhm.
adds up. And that's not talking about the management side, right?
Mhm.
So I go, let me figure out the vision of what I need, what I want, and what I don't want. Let me do the research of who my audience is, what kind of styles I like, what inspires me, what kind of branding do I like,
Mhm.
colors, all that great stuff. Let me figure that out before I go to somebody. Because when we do, I don't know, figure it out. And I'm speaking as a creator, okay?
Mhm.
We hate that. That's not creative freedom. That's really bad, okay? Because that means you don't know.
Right.
And when you don't know and we do something, you're going to be like, oh no, that's not exactly what I had in mind. You didn't have anything in mind. You didn't have anything. You didn't tell me anything. So I wasted, and graphic designers, video editors, social media managers are going to be like, yo, I wasted all of this because you didn't know the vision. You didn't know exactly what you wanted.
Mhm.
So I'm always going to be like, okay, what now? I'm not always going to do it, but I can find a system that is, right?
Mhm.
Canva is going to be your friend. That's going to be your graphic designer, right? Later, Buffer, Business Suite, Metric, I think it's called Metricool, something like that. That's going to be your social media manager because those are the ones that are going to schedule out your um your social media posts,
Mhm.
right? Uh CapCut, Opus Clip is going to be your video editors. CapCut has a whole bunch of templates, amazing, really dope, easy video editor for you. And if you have long form videos, Opus Clip is going to be able to cut those down and turn it into social media posts in a matter of like a minute, right?
Mhm.
So we have the graphic designer, Canva. We have your social media manager, which is Buffer. Later, Business Suite is free if you do Instagram and Facebook, right? Or you could just use the in-app schedulers. Like all social media platforms have scheduling tools,
Mhm.
right? The video editor, CapCut, Opus Clip, you're good.
Mhm.
Like you're absolutely good. Stick with that first. Create revenue inside of your business inside of your brand, and then focus on what's hurting the most and
Mhm.
hire that.
Mhm. Did that I hope that answered your question, Step Up Girl. I hope so. Um,
I hope so.
okay. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to answer some of the questions that they throwing in the
No,
chat as
that's
well.
good. Yeah, no,
Okay.
no, that's good.
And what's one piece of advice you'll give to someone just starting on their content branding journey?
One thing of advice, I think I've been stating it. Patience. Patience is probably one of the biggest thing. You're going to get it more wrong than right. And
Mm,
then when you get it right, you're still going to doubt it because
mhm,
the numbers aren't adding up just yet, right? Patience is one of the biggest things. The people that come up quick, they don't stay here.
mm,
We know a lot of viral videos that we ask, yo, where they at? For
mhm,
all my music lovers, you know those one hit wonders, where they at?
mhm.
I don't want your brand to be that way. You feel me? I
Right.
don't want you to go so quick, even though we are like, yeah, we need this. I need more followers so more people could buy my stuff.
Mhm,
My question is, if you had 100,000 people buy your stuff, would you able to fulfill it?
mm,
Would there be proper follow-ups? Is it easy to do the checkout? Like, we want all of this, and those are good problems to have, but those are problems that could ruin your brand.
mhm,
So we realistically have to be like, what, maybe the following that I have right now and the views that I have right now is what I can handle.
mhm,
And maybe there's a gap in my back system. Maybe I need to hire that person. Maybe I need to work on my email system. Maybe I finally got to do my website. Maybe I finally need to have another product. There's a lot of things that maybe we don't have in place, and hence why the certain things aren't growing.
mhm,
And so we really have to look at us from content wise, from a system wise, from a business wise. Do we have everything ready for when this does happen? Because it will happen. There are going to be other opportunities. It may not directly result in more followers and more engagement. It's going to result in, you may get booked to do something
mhm,
outside of everything of social media, because like life still happens.
mhm,
Like, there's clients out there, there's customers out there, there's like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollar gigs out there.
mhm.
Like, you worrying about, did Instagram pay me? What?
Right.
Like, what are we talking about? What are we doing? So
Right.
patience is probably going to be my number one advice.
Right. That's so good. I love that you said that because I actually took a class at a company called the Rise of the 1%. And they really helped me, when it comes to actually building my business, my actual
Hmm.
business. And one of the things that he always told us was, he was like, do you want to have 1 million followers or do you need the money? Because he was like, anybody can have a bunch of followers, but if you're not making no money, what does that mean? So it's like,
I
you need to
promise
make
you.
your money. So he
Yeah,
was like,
more
focus
followers
on your
does
actual
not.
business, right?
Yeah, more followers does not equate to more money.
Right,
It doesn't. And
right.
some of the biggest influencers and brands could tell you that. Like,
Mhm,
it doesn't. So it's really about the community that you're building, right?
right.
What is the real connections that you're creating?
Mhm,
And I'm okay if an idea that I had, that I actually executed, only gets sold to one person,
mhm,
because one, that means it worked.
right.
I have a messaging problem if it doesn't get to the number that I thought it was supposed to be, but the idea works because somebody believed in that. That
Mhm,
was nothing before.
Right.
and I actually created something and somebody believed, oh, we good. We
Mm,
good. I have to make sure that person is taken care of. Like, yo, you
right.
good? You got your product? You got whatever? Like, okay, cool. Some of y'all don't even know your followers' names. Y'all just want more followers. Some of y'all
Right.
don't even know who purchased anything. You just want more money. It's weird. It's like, hold on, are you a human? Like,
Right.
so that's what I'll say.
Now, what do you see as the future of content branding and the trends you keeping an eye on?
Um, a lot of things are changing. We know that the TikTok ban is coming through. They're saying in like January 2025, there's going to be some major changes, something to that effect. I do think vertical videos are still a major component
Mm,
because it's like the appetizer of your brand. We got to like be introduced to you and get the value in a very short time frame first before we commit to a longer form,
mhm,
right? And so understanding and kind of mastering vertical videos is still going to be a need, but when we're talking about really building an audience, eventually we're going to have to have all different content formats, meaning I'm going to you're going to be introduced to me through a short form video.
mm,
Then you may see a thread that I posted and you're like, "Oh, snap, okay." So my people who are like writing and reading, they're going to be introduced to me, right? Then you may want a longer connection with me. You'll get onto the newsletter. Cool. You'll get onto the YouTube page with the longer form videos. Cool. Right? Then you'll join the community because you're going through a content funnel. So
mm,
understanding that, and a very trending keyword is funnels, right? I need to build a funnel. I need to build, okay. And there's different types. When I'm talking about as far as an attention funnel, like a content funnel, we have to
mm,
understand that people go from I don't know who you are to I'm in like I ride or die with you. That's it. Like
mm,
I'm whatever you do, I'm there. Whatever you drop, I buy. Whatever you support, I support. Like I started
mhm.
drinking Prime Energy drinks and people came out taking screenshots of it. I started taking these nootropic pills and people started doing that. I was like, this is not my brand. Hold on. Wait. What's happening? But I understand that through the content you're creating die-hard people. So from a
Mhm,
trending what's going to happen, concentrate on the content that's going to build the community.
mm,
Concentrate on that content funnel that you turn somebody from a I don't know who you are to I'm a ride or die. What does that look like for you? How far away are you from that? Or do you just think, oh, they just supposed to love me? No,
mhm,
they're not even supposed to comment because you didn't even tell them to. So, where are you with vertical videos? Where are you with long form content? Whether that's a podcast, whether that's a YouTube channel, whether that's a newsletter. Where are you with long form content? Right? Where are
mm,
you taking them off social media? So, do you have a community? Do you have an email list? Like, where are you with that? And understanding that because social media continues to change, the algorithm will forever change in some way, shape, or form. The more that you build that community, the putting content out that your audience likes, looking at your analytics on a bare minimum monthly basis and being like, which one got the most engagement?
Mhm.
I need to concentrate on that. What gets the most reach? I need to concentrate on that to bring in new people, but I need to concentrate on what gets the most engagement because I need to keep them and I need to nurture them to grow them into ride or die people. I'm only interested in my ride or die people.
Mhm.
Like, because anytime I turn on this camera, they're going to be there. So that I'm not gonna say like, okay, AR and like AI and all that other stuff. I'm gonna say concentrate on building a community for the new year. Because regardless of what the tips or tricks are going to happen, the people will always be there.
Oh, gave us some juice. Thank you so much. And can you tell everybody how to reach out to you, how to get into your classes and everything? Because I know everybody's looking for that information.
Yeah. So from a free standpoint, you could just follow me at This Is Nicky's, NICKY with an S, on your favorite platform. I'm gonna be honest. I'm active on YouTube, on Instagram, or Threads. Okay. Those three, if those are your thing, I'm there. Okay. If you are ready to level up and kind of figure out this content game, deeperthanthebrand.com has all the courses, the programs, the community, and everything like that. And then anything else, just go to link in my bio on your favorite social media platform. I got a really cool, like a step-by-step situation. You'll find everything you need there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming on with me. I'm so appreciative. If anybody came on late, no worries. You can see the full episode on YouTube. You can like and subscribe my YouTube channel, which is UBELLC TV. That's UBELLC TV. So you do not miss out on any other weekly tips or how you can level up, get some inspiration, motivation along the way. And remember, whatever you want to do is possible as long as you're being your authentic self and you're passionate about it. So till next week, everybody, thank y'all for coming on, and I will see y'all next week, and happy Winning Wednesday, everyone. Bye-bye.